Hey guys, I left from Metoni and arrived at Pylos, the ancient settlement of Pylos. The city lies in the background. It's standing on this hill and it has a beautiful view over the Bay of Navarino. The town itself, it's mainly touristical, and it has a church over there. It's Panagia Mirtidiotica, and this is Navarino Bay, the famous Bay of Navarino. We'll get back to it in a minute, but I want to start with the legends here, because this is the most exciting part in Greece. And as you can see, it's a pretty large bay. It's almost landlocked, and the old town during the Mycenaeans, because here was also the area ruled by wise King Nestor, the legendary King Nestor. So the town of Nestor, it used to be over there in the end of that little peninsula, where there's a fortress, or the ruins of an old fortress, but there are remains of Mycenaeans over there. Also, in the 12th century, the Franks built over there a fortress, which today has some walls. But also over there is a cave. It's called King Nestor's Cave. But the legend has it that Hermes, the brother of Apollo, stolen from Apollo about 50 oxen, and he hid this cattle in that cave. And the legend continues with Heracles, who killed the sons of King of Pylos, except Nestor, who became king over Pylos. And the ancient palace of Nestor lies about 15-16 kilometers to the north. It's facing the Bay of Navarino, and over there they've been found interesting and pretty well preserved ruins of a Mycenaean royal palace. Over there in the distance, over this line, there is a freshwater lake, Jalova lake with fresh water. And here on the left is the island of Shvakiria. And also here there are some stories. The story says that during the Peloponnese War, probably at the end of the Peloponnesian War, there were some Spartans that were garrisoned on this island, and an Athenian fleet was standing over there on that hill, guarding the area. So they laid siege over the island, because over there, between those two peaks, there's an exit towards the sea. So they laid siege towards the island, to the Spartans. What was actually a break of tradition, and the historians are reminding us about this fact, is that the Spartans agreed to surrender, which was definitely a break of tradition against their own rule of fighting to the death. So that's the island that continues all the way to this end of it, and probably here it was definitely a connection at one point, because we can also see the remains of the rocks. Probably what was between them collapsed at one point, because at the end of this island over there on top there is a temple, or it used to be. There are some columns over there, but it's a nice place to wander with the boat, definitely. Here on this hill there's a fortress, as you can see. The entrance, it's somewhere over there, you can see it, and it continues all around this end of the land. It was built in 1500s by the Turks when they conquered this place. It was used as a garrison, but mainly as a prison. And this fortress was actually conquered by the Russians in 1770 in that so-called Orlov revolt. So this was a place where the Russians actually managed to conquer, but they stayed only 1 year, and then they left, and the Turks returned and took again the fortress. Navarino Bay, it's really famous for the battle that took place here during the War of Independence of Greece, because this battle from Navarino actually put an end to the Ottoman rule, and 1 year after this battle, Greece was internationally recognized as an independent state. So the forces that were the ones who fought here were British, French, and Italians, and Russians, and they fought against the Turks and Egyptians. Well, Egyptian and Turks they used to have here their fleet, about 83 ships, but the European powers came with about 27 ships. And the battle started by accident, actually. One of the Egyptian ships fired with a cannon, and the battle started. Well, the outcome of the battle was that the European powers sunk about 53 Turkish and Egyptian ships, and they lost none. So after this episode, the Turks left from these places for good. So it's a really important place for the War of Independence in Greece. Also, in the main square of Pylos over there is a monument. Well, we can't see it from here because of the trees, but there's a monument dedicated to the warriors and the fighters during the Battle of Navarino. Also on this long island of Shvakiria, there is a monument dedicated to the soldiers, to the Russian sailors, and there is also a church. I haven't been able to spot them from here, but they are somewhere in the middle of this island. So this is the place of Nestor, the Mycenaean and legendary king, the wise king. It was known to be a really sage king. Everybody looked for his advice, and in Odyssey and Iliad, Homer depicts him as, portrays him as a really important figure even in the Trojan War. So that's a beautiful place, Pylos. See you next time.